This is about the time of year, man, when we start looking at that bubble battle in our points championship. And right now in the Cup Series, it is pretty incredible. In 15th place, so 16 cars make the playoffs. In 15th place, Suarez, McDowell, both are +3 to the cut line. Bubba Wallace is -3 in 17th. A.J. Allmendinger's -13 points in 18th. Then you have Ty Gibbs at -26. Bowman all the way down to -44. You know, he was right there at 15th, 16th spot a couple weeks ago. Chase Elliott is -60. He lost a few points. He lost 5 points, I believe, at Atlanta. So now what he needs weekly to point his way in to get to the playoffs is 9 points a week. Still doable. Still doable. There's weeks when he's gotten 20, 15, 12. He can still do it, especially if he has a big race where he can get tons of stage points and a top 3 finish.
But there's no room for error.
There really isn't. He can't. I don't think he can have another flat week like he did this past weekend in Atlanta.
Because we got 7 races left? 7? Is it 7 before the playoffs begin?
It's 7.
Like
I'm on team. I'm a believer that Chase points his way in. I've always felt that way. There's a very, very big competition in the booth between me and Letarte and Burton about whether Chase points his way in. They don't think he can. They think he has to win. I believe he can do it on points, and I believe he will. This weekend hurt my chances a little bit, but I still believe Chase gets right up in there. Ty Gibbs is interesting. This is a rookie, learning, getting better, improving every week. If I'm one of the guys that's right around that bubble, I'm looking at him. He's also got one of the top 5 best pit crews on pit road for average 4-tire stop at -26 with some smart racing. He's right on top of that bubble line at the end when we get to the playoffs. A.J. Allmendinger, another driver that gained a lot at an oval. You know, we talk about A.J. being a great road racer. At -13, we have a couple or one road course coming up.
2. Indy Road Course.
Indy Road Course and Watkins Glen. So look for A.J. to try to capitalize there, but they are doing some things on the ovals as well. Surprising to see him so close. Bubba Wallace is fast enough and good enough to beat Michael McDowell and I believe Suarez in a one-on-one battle for that playoff position. But right now he's -3 looking on the outside. McDowell is a shocker. McDowell has had a good year, man, but statistically, top 5s versus top 10s and stuff like that, it's surprising that he's done enough to really be sitting on top of a playoff position right now. Mm-hmm. He has a playoff position in 16th at +3. Suarez is a little bit off from last year. You remember he won some races last year at Sonoma and so forth, and their pace hasn't been that great.
Another one, though, who was in the hunt, but dang sure about trying to win that race this past weekend.
Yeah. Suarez, I think, if he hits stride right at the right time, could be hard to handle. So I know, look, are any of these people going to go and race for a championship? It's unlikely. But I just think it's really fascinating to see how that bubble battle plays out, because when you get down to the end of it and you're one of these teams that you think believes that you're good enough to be in the playoffs and you're not, race season is underway and new customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DJD. You bet $5 and you get $150 of bonus bets instantly. That's code DJD at DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Boy, morale.
It is a massive boost or a massive hit. One way or the other.
It sure is. So here's my question for you. Looking at this, so you've got Suarez and Michael McDowell 15th and 16th. They're just right there on the edge at +3. So first question, do you think both of them end up making the playoffs?
Who?
Suarez or Michael McDowell?
Oh, I don't know, man.
I don't. So I look at the people that you mentioned on the back end and who is there. It's interesting that you think Chase Elliott can point his way in. I'm looking at who's capable of winning between Bubba Wallace, Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, Austin Cindric, Justin Haley, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott. First of all, Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott could win anytime. With the 2 road courses, you've got Allmendinger and Justin Haley. Don't you even have to maybe think he could potentially win a race? He almost did at Chicago. But Allmendinger absolutely could win one of those two road course races.
Haley's Chicago finish was more a product of some lucky pit strategy more than anything. But look, I mean, Haley could win at Talladega or Daytona.
That's true. That's true.
I don't look at it as wins. The wins aren't what I'm looking for. When I look at this, Mike, I don't look at, okay, who can win. I'm just going to assume none of them are going to win. All right.
So who can point their way in?
Now, if they win, it changes the whole game. Well, now it changes all these numbers even change.
Right. That's right.
But I'm looking at like who's good enough to race their way in. Right. Somebody wins, they win. Oh well. But good for them. But if I'm looking at like who's good enough in terms of performance and gaining the points needed.
Okay, so then Bubba Wallace, you're saying absolutely. Allmendinger can.
I think if Bubba minimizes mistakes, they should beat McDowell and Suarez. I think Allmendinger on performance alone will not do quite enough. I think being -13 is a great sign for that team, but I don't think they're ready yet. Ty Gibbs, I think, falls a little short, but he gains. I think he nestles right up to that bubble, but not quite. I don't know if Bowman can get it together to gain the points needed. They're just not performing well enough. Chase is running good enough to be right there to seize that 16th spot. So I'm going to say Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, 15th, 16th in points when it all wraps up.
That'll be exciting.
Let's keep revisiting this every week.
That'll be exciting.
Who can take note of our opinions and how they may change week to week, because it's certainly going to change. This bubble battle is fun to watch because it keeps changing the drivers that are in and out week to week. Is William Byron a championship favorite?
I think he is.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Man.
I think he is, though. And I wasn't on the Byron bandwagon like you guys were, but I'm a believer. He's won 4 races.
Yep.
Who else is more of a favorite than he is?
That's the question I think we need to ask is if William Byron, if Billy
Billy Byron.
Yeah. If he's not the championship favorite, then who is? I'll be honest with you, man. In my opinion, it's Martin Truex Jr.
Ooh.
Man, he is.
He's coming.
We went 2 weeks, and now he's not on anybody's radar anymore. But right before, as we were going into Chicago, Martin Truex Jr. was the hottest thing on the circuit, man. I think he's still there. He had a pretty good run going the other night at Atlanta, but and Kyle Busch obviously with 3 wins. But they're hot and cold.
They are.
Depending on the track. And I don't know what the pattern is and whether that means he'll be great at Phoenix or not when it matters.
If he wrecks early, I like his chances to be there at the end. For some reason, that's what he does.
I picked Ryan Blaney to win the championship, and I still am not ready to change my mind just yet. When we go to Phoenix, Penske's been good there. And I think if a Penske car can get to the Final Four, I'm feeling good about my pick earlier in this year about Blaney.
Well, you're the only one then.
Yeah, I know. I'm on an island. I'm not ready to say William is the favorite. William is certainly in great position to get to the Final Four. He is. But he'll have his work cut out for him in Phoenix, as will everybody. But, dude, we went into Phoenix last year. I wasn't considering Joey. He hadn't done enough all year. He's having the same exact season this year. Well, he goes and wins the championship in Atlanta. So when you're looking at a favorite, though, Williams making a case. I just ain't sure he's there yet. I think Martin's just slightly edging him out. The stats would say otherwise. I know that. The stats would say William all day long.